Hello and welcome to this week's slightly early vlog update. I decided to record this week's one Saturday night instead of my normal Sunday just because I've got a massive day tomorrow, and it would be good to get this sorted and up and no longer needing to draw my attention tomorrow, because tomorrow is, of course, the very first ASC Melbourne Circle that I will be officially hosting as the new Melbourne coordinator. And as I've been kind of banging on about for the last several weeks, I'm very excited to have Emily Zion, my singing teacher, very kindly put together a workshop to run everyone through tomorrow evening. So super excited. She's got so much content and activities and concepts and sort of background to put everything into context for people. And it's going to cater to all kinds of levels of songwriter, from beginner to more advanced. And yeah, I'm over the moon about how awesome I know it's going to go. And it's looking like we're going to have over 30 people on the Zoom call. It's going to be a really good turnout. A number of them are actually people who are via M, who are learning from her directly as well. So it'll be really cool to have new faces in the Zoom who may not have known about ASC before the workshop, and hopefully they will get something out of it and like the community, and maybe we'll, fingers crossed, see some more of them around at future events. So it's going to be an amazing night for so many different reasons. Really stoked. And in all of these preps for this workshop, I've also realized that I never gave an update about how my own little guest presentation for the Sydney Circle went earlier this month. No, last month. Wow, time flies or something, right? Don't mind me. Last month, as I had mentioned previously, I was invited to do a sort of guest co-facilitation on project management for music, and that went really well. I had such a fun time, and I basically got to open. So there were two of us, myself and Renee Jonas. Both of us, of course, have professional project management experience, and I was opening the evening as sort of a case study around how I approached the launch of my EP earlier this year. So the process of writing the songs, cherry picking which ones to develop further for an EP release, and then the EP release strategy itself, and then the follow-up and all of that stuff. So I just kind of went over my story there anecdotally, and then Renee jumped in with the more technical elements of, what I used and why it worked, and presented people with some more sort of hands-on and real-world examples of further applications for those sorts of principles in real life in their music projects, essentially. So it was a really cool idea that Elizabeth, the Sydney coordinator, came up with. So, and I was hugely grateful to be invited to co-present with Renee on that. And the feedback was fantastic. People really found things that were useful with it. And I also made my own little documents that I kind of created for myself on the fly that I found very valuable in that process. I made those available to the attendees, and people really liked that as well. So yeah, that went fantastic. It's nearly a month ago now, actually, I think it was. And I can't believe I never mentioned how it went until now, just because I've been so distracted, like I said, with the planning for Emily's workshop tomorrow night, and then getting Nick on board for September, when he'll be talking about essentially insider perspectives on music industry systems and processes. And he'll be talking to the group essentially based on his decades of background as a professional musician, artist, and person who's been working also at the more systems and processes and framework end of the music industry as well. So he has worked for a long time for APRA AMCOS, which is the performing rights organization here in Australia, and he's been on grant panels for a number of different art and music bodies. So he's going to have so much insight to offer too. He's toured internationally with his band Dandelion Wine, and the list goes on. So super lucky to have both Em and Nick talking about their experiences. And then in November, I've got Joel, who's going to do a sort of fundamentals on audio mastering, which has been a topic of real interest within the ASC community for a long time, but people have found it challenging to find an audio engineer who'd be up for giving a little talk about audio mastering. So feeling also really lucky, of course, that Joel has kindly agreed to do that in November. There's so much happening. And on top of that, of course, speaking of Joel, I am in just over 2 weeks from today heading into Black Lodge Studios with Joel to record my next few songs, which are, as I've been again banging on about, they are collaborative electronic dance music tracks that I've been working on with someone that I met through ASC. And those are coming along really, really well. The past week, I've been further massaging the vocal melody for one of them, Life Soaked Reveal. So in addition to sort of simplifying the vocal melody for it, as I mentioned in last week's blog, I've also been trying to adjust it for, I suppose, appeal and memorability, if that makes sense. So as I was showing it to Em this week during our session, she commented that it would perhaps stabilize the melody if I tried to work in some root notes a bit more, and they just hit you at the right moment. I'm like, that would make everything feel a bit more centered and more grounded within the melody, and that is of course very important, especially key parts in the lyrics and things like that. So more work has gone into Life Soaked Reveal this week, and I've just finished putting together a latest set of prelim vocals for it that I've chucked into the folder to go over with Ben on Monday when we meet up to talk more about the songs. So that's all coming together. And yeah, anyway, I've probably rambled on heaps. That's where I'm at this week, and looking forward to the big day tomorrow, which I'm sure will go amazingly also.